Joining us on the line right now is the man who is leading his charge into a world title defense this Saturday on HBO pay-per-view. He leads Timothy Bradley into a rematch against Manny Pacquiao. Joel Diaz joins us. Joel, how are you?
Not much. We're right here just getting ready for the day. We're waiting for the moment anxiously.
Now, as a trainer heading into a rematch like this, coming off a controversial victory in the first fight, are you approaching this as though you've already beaten Manny, or are you looking to switch things up in terms of the game plan?
Well, we have to split things up in ways because knowing the fact that, the controversy came around in the first one, I didn't have a complete fighter that night due to the injuries in his feet, and going 12 rounds with Manny Pacquiao it was a great experience. Now going into the second fight, we know who Manny is, we know what he has, his speed, power. So at the same time, it's an advantage. We know that Manny Pacquiao is going to come to take Timothy Bradley out because, after the loss to Marquez, came back and beat up Brandon Rios. But there's big plans for Manny Pacquiao in the future. And this is a must-win fight for him. And at the same time, Tim Bradley needs to prove to the world that, that if he got that victory that night, that he can beat Manny Pacquiao decisively.
Now, after the first fight, Timothy went through a lot. He's talked about the depression that he felt, the death threats that he was receiving. As someone who's been with him for so long and someone who's close to him, what was that like to deal with?
It was difficult to see my fighter in a dark hole, especially when he talks to you with a knot in his throat, basically almost in a point of crying and telling you, I lost the love to the sport I've been doing for 18 years. It even crossed his mind, taking his own life. That's how bad it was, and it's bad because, all we do is go to work. We want to give people what they want to see. What happens at the end of the fight has nothing to do with us. If the judges saw him winning, they gave him the victory, because they saw him winning. But the fans and the media don't think so. Then, there's nothing we can do about that. The judges that were there were professional judges it was not their first time. They were professionals as well, and they gave Tim the victory. So, that said, we're trying to leave everything behind. This Saturday night, we want to get that weight off our back and move on. If a victory comes, beautiful. If we go home with a defeat is always better than a controversy.
Now, are you worried that the judges might overcompensate based on what the public thought the decision should have been the first time and maybe favor Manny on the scorecards?
Obviously the judges now, sitting they're going to sit around the ring. They have pressure on their back. If the rounds are close, obviously, they're going to lean towards Manny because they feel pressure. They feel like they owe Manny Pacquiao one because of the controversy. We know that. That's what we are, extremely prepared for this fight to be decisively or not go the distance, one way or another, but we have to make it clear for everybody.
When you're working with a guy like Timothy, who's renowned for maybe being the hardest worker in the sport, how hard is it for you to rein him in and not overwork himself in training camp?
Well, Timothy doesn't have a limit. He's a fighter that, wants to leave the gym, leave camp, with no doubts that he trained extremely hard and that he's ready 100%. That's why he pushes himself, to the extremes, and he goes the extra mile and he goes the extra round. He does everything the extra. He don't stop. That's why I have to control him. I have to hold him back a little bit, or else he will be overtrained.
Well, we hope we have no doubts as to who wins this one on Saturday. Thanks for joining us, Joel, and best of luck this weekend.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.